I have to I have to be more cognizant of looking down at the speedometer to track the miles, because knowing me, I'm just gonna get lost in the ride, just really enjoying myself, and then I'm gonna look down, it's gonna be 10,001 miles. And I'm like, no, I missed it! Hello everybody, hope you're having a fantastic day today. We are about to hit 10,000 miles on the Scout. This is gonna pretty much be a follow-on video to my 5K review of the Scout. So if you haven't watched that video, I recommend go and check that one out first, as that one's gonna give you a baseline of my thoughts, and I'm gonna make some references back to that video. So recommend go check that one out first, then come back to this one. So all in all, with 10,000 miles, have my thoughts fundamentally changed on the Scout? And the answer to that is no. If anything, they have become more planted, and I do have some additional thoughts, but nothing that's really fundamentally changed. I still firmly believe that the Indian Scout is a fantastic bike, jack of all trades, doesn't really specialize in any one specific kind of category, but does most everything very, very well. Sometimes surprisingly well. I had originally thought, maybe this wouldn't be a great starter bike for somebody, it might be too powerful, but I've kind of changed my mind on that. I'm leaning more towards now, if you're a responsible rider and you practice, you know your limits, you get the ABS version of the Scout, this could be a fantastic starter bike that's going to last you a very, very long time. It gives you enough power so you're not going to get bored. It lets you go into very twisty, technical mountain roads pretty well. You can obviously go cruising for long distances comfortably. You can do highway on this. It's got the power where you need it. You can be very technical and have finesse when you need it. So there's very little that this bike would not be able to do. I mean, I've even been able to take this bike, if you kind of see over there where it's kind of very gravelly and patchy road, and it's not really road, I've actually had to take my bike a couple times on pavement or ground like that, and while being very careful, it was still fine. So this bike can really get you through most any situation you find yourself in. And of course, I have modded it to fit what I like in my taste and aesthetics, as well as performance. So I've made quite a few changes to the bike, and I think that's really a part of the beauty of the Scout platform, is you have quite a few options in terms of customization and really making the bike yours. With some other bikes, when you buy it, you're kind of limited in terms of what other brands or components that are available to you in terms of customization. Whereas, oh shit, hit a big ass rock. Whereas with the Scout, you have quite a few options. I wouldn't say as many as Harley Davidson, but you definitely have quite a few options available to you in terms of customization, so you can really find something to match what you're specifically looking for. As we get closer to 10,000 miles, we're 15 miles away. Let's share some thoughts. So, am I still in love with this bike? Abso-freaking-lutely. I love this bike. Now the only thing that on where my thoughts have changed is, do I need another bike? And the answer to that is, I don't need another bike, but getting a touring bike would be nice, especially if we're thinking about comfort for Tiny Tater. Can we do touring on the Scout? Yes. Is it going to be as easy and as comfortable as a touring bike? No. But then again, the Scout is not really built to be a touring bike, so you're kind of comparing apples to oranges there. Down the line, if Tiny Tater and I want to go on longer rides and do it a bit more comfortably, especially for her, that's where a touring bike would be more helpful. But in the meantime, I absolutely still love my Scout and would very, very, very happily put another 90,000 miles on it. So I am still phenomenally impressed with the Scout and what it's been able to offer me. And really appreciating the learning opportunities that it has given to me. I did purchase this bike with modding in mind and learning how to work on and customize the bike, because I do not have a mechanical background. I haven't ever really wrenched on my car or anything else before. So this bike was really my introduction into how to maintain and work on a motorcycle. And I think the Scout, in my opinion, is a very great platform to learn how to wrench on the bike, how to change parts out, how everything kind of works together. I know with some bikes, if you want to change one thing, you've got to kind of take the whole bike apart just to get access to that one thing. And that is still true to the Scout for a few things, but across the entire bike and all of the and across all of the mods that I've made on it, for the most part, once you do like half an hour of research and really kind of figuring out what you're doing and how you're going to do it, it's pretty straightforward. The biggest, I think, consideration is, do you have the right tool for the job? And more often than not, I was kind of figuring it out as I go. So now, in retrospect, the advice would be make sure you have a very diverse toolkit, so that way you have the right tools for the job. But if you have that, then you can pretty much do whatever you want on the bike and have it not be a scary or intimidating endeavor. I was able to put on the handlebars, I was able to put on the windscreen, I was able to install a keyless ignition system, the sissy bar, the saddlebags, changing the seats, installing crash guards, changing the foot pegs. Like, I've pretty much exhausted the list of mods you can make to the Scout. And not because I felt like I always needed it. For a lot of it, it was just another opportunity for me to learn and just try something different. Now, if I was to do it all over again, I absolutely would not make every single mod that I've made, now that I've learned, but I would still make many of these mods just to fit my own personal taste. I still think it is a incredibly good platform, especially for beginner and intermediate riders. And I consider myself to be an intermediate rider, as we're getting close to 13,000 miles in terms of total experience, 10,000 miles on this, and 3,000 miles on my first bike, the Honda Shadow RS. So with 13,000 miles under my belt, I would consider myself to be an intermediate rider, and I still have a tremendous amount of fun on the Scout. I don't ever really have to worry about, oh, well, that route is too technical, it's too windy, or, oh, well, I don't know if I can really crush, 300 highway miles in a day. I have full confidence, regardless of the situation, I could be able to handle it on my Scout. And as long as I prepare accordingly, right? So if I go on a longer trip, okay, we'll plan out my route, bring my backpack, which I can strap to the sissy bar. So I have a bunch of supplies with me. So I think the Scout is, fantastic. I've only deepened my roots in my love for this bike. Is this the bike for everybody? No, absolutely not. But I think your average person, if you're interested in cruisers, then I think you would be very, very, very happy with this bike. It's got power where you want it. You can take it in pretty much any situation. Have a tremendous amount of options and customization available to you. It's just a great bike. The only two things that come to mind in terms of where the bike has quote unquote let me down is after about a year and a half, the battery stopped being able to hold a charge confidently. So even if I didn't ride for a week, it wouldn't start up. So I bought a trickle charger, and that kind of fixed that problem. And then I did already take the bike in for its 10,000 mile service. And when I did that, they had mentioned that the fork seals were starting to leak. And so since the bike was still under warranty, obviously got that fixed up and at no charge to myself. So that was like $500 saved. So, if you take care of the bike, it'll take care of you. Same as pretty much with anything else in life. You take care of it, it's going to take care of you. 10 miles to go, 9990. I don't know if you can actually see the odometer, but I'll be sure to pull over and take a picture of the 10K once we hit that mark. There has not been a single time, and I can confidently say this, and I'm not exaggerating, there has not been a single time where I have had buyer's remorse on this bike. So, you know, all the feature sets in here. Is there more I wish the bike had? Sure. Like, do I wish it had cruise control? Yes. Do I wish it had the steering lock? In the, you know, for those of us in America, yes. I think in Europe they actually have the steering lock, and I don't know why they took it out for the American version, but anyway. So, are there things I wish the bike had? Yes. But are they fundamentally groundbreaking? Not really. You can still be very, very, very happy with this bike. I have to be more cognizant of looking down at the speedometer to track the miles, because knowing me, I'm just gonna get lost in the ride, just really enjoying myself, and then I'm gonna look down, it's gonna be 10,001 miles. And I'm like, no, I missed it! I might actually reach the end of my route before I hit 10K. Might have to pull around and just ride up and down the road for a bit. So I can pull over in at least a semi-scenic spot for the 10K pictures. 3 miles to go. 2 miles to go. 1 mile to go. Should be any second now. 10,000 miles, we did it! 10,000 miles, we did it, everybody! Ah, we did it, team! 10,000 miles! Oh, that number is so satisfying to look at. Ah, now it's gonna go back to that parking lot, pull over, get some pictures of the bike. 10,000 miles. If you're not following me on Instagram, I would recommend you follow me there. You're going to get a heads up into some of the videos that are going to be upcoming, so you'll definitely get some teasers. So I do recommend checking out my Instagram and give me a follow there. All right, we're going to stop here, take some pictures of the bike, and call it a day. Got 10,000 miles. Time to get some pictures. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call it there for today. Thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for watching and coming along with me on this journey for 10,000 miles. I sincerely appreciate it. If you got any questions, leave them down below. As always, everybody, be brave, do good, take care of yourselves. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Here's to 10,000 more, at least.